My name is Zakia Ringgold. If this is your first time catching me live, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. That's our obligatory opening. If you are connected with me on Facebook, you may have seen in my stories that last night we were infusing an herbal body oil. And this is the largest batch that I have ever made. And now I'm trying to figure out how in the world I'm going to strain it all. Now, before the pandemic hit, I had got this huge bowl here. It is a stainless steel bowl. And then I also have cheesecloth. Now, normally when I make an herbal body oil, the bowl is much smaller, but the crock pot is also much smaller. The reason why we have to strain it is because we used a combination of dried herbs in order to infuse them in the oils, which will turn into the herbal body oils that we'll be putting into these jars. These are 4-ounce jars. And so I wanted to kind of capture it on film to see either how well it goes or how bad it goes. And then you all can give me some ideas on, wait, you don't want to do that. Now, one thing I am not going to do, Senator Bulworth, long time no see, and perfectly, your comments are going to come right up there on the herbs, so that's perfect. But welcome to the broadcast. So some of you can give me some tips. So initially, I was going to take the cheesecloth and just spread it across the top of the bowl to capture the oils. Now, we are going to offer the herbal body oils in 4 different varieties. One of them is an unscented. I highly recommend the unscented. That way you can smell the natural herbs that are in there. This has a combination of dried aloe vera, lavender, chamomile, and calendula. And then it's in our proprietary exclusive blend of different oils. To that, we also add jojoba oil and vitamin E oil. Now, the one thing that I'm not prepared for is trying to pick this up and dump it in, because this cheesecloth does not have anything that's keeping it attached to the side. So, as soon as I pour it, the weight of it is going to push it down, and then we're going to, well, maybe that won't be so bad. We're going to try that first. Ready? Like to see it? Here we go. All right. So we're going to try that first by lifting this. First, I'm going to get my gloves on. Gloves are pretty important, but I have missed you all. It's been a very busy time around here, trying to get the products together, trying to organize this new space. Packaging has been a nightmare trying to get it. I had not realized how much of an impact COVID has had on getting ingredients, boxes, glass jars, labels. Everything is either double in price or out of stock or whatever. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the cheesecloth here. Now, this was my original idea for getting it strained out. But this is very heavy, so I'm just going to pour it right on top of the cheesecloth. Oh, you know what? I will change the camera angle so you all can see as it goes inside. Ah, that's actually going to work out rather fine, I do believe. Here, let me switch you guys over. So you'll be able to see right in there as the herbs go in. And you can also see my muscles kind of working out here for you all. So the reason we're doing this is we wanted all of the medicinal properties and the herbal qualities in our oil. All right. I think that might be a little bit much. No, we're gonna go for it. We're gonna freaking go for it. We wanted all of those medicinal properties from, look, I'm spilling oil on the table, from the herbs that we used, while at the same time making sure that it was beneficial for the skin. And so what I'm doing is I'm just going to scrape, because we don't want to waste any of it, to get it all out of the roaster here. I wish you all, we still are wishing for smell-o-vision. They've come up with VR, that's pretty close, but unfortunately you still cannot smell what Zakia is cooking over here. But at some point, I believe that technology will get there and you'll be able to smell what we have here. Now, the reason why we did this is we want to strain out the herbs that are inside of this blend here. So I'm going to take my cheesecloth and kind of gather it up. Make sure you have a brand new cheesecloth. Don't reuse one. And I'm just going to pull it up. Oh, don't go in there. And we're going to allow that to strain. Now, it looks like I may have had a corner that got out. Yep, there she is. There's the culprit. So we're probably going to have to double strain this. And now, normally what you would do is you would take your hands, and this is why we're wearing gloves, and squeeze it out. So I'm going to do a little twist first. And there is still plenty of oil in here, guys. Plenty of oil. Get her in. I do wish that I was wearing a non-gloved hand because then I could feel the oil. I could feel the essence of the herbal oil. And we're going to keep on spinning. And squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. I don't know. Can you guys see all that oil on my hand? Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? All right, let's see. Now, there is still plenty more. Do not think that you are going to waste that. What I'm going to do is put it right back in here. Open this up. And then we have an herb press that we are going to use. So this is my herbal press here. It's going to be oily. It's an oily job, but somebody's got to do it. And you take your herbs and you put them inside of there. This is nothing but a potato peeler, actually. You can get it on Amazon. I got it on Amazon. And then you just press down. And then that'll help you to get any of the extra oils that are still in there. So that presses a little bit more than your hand. It is a workout on the hands to make this. It really is. And then you just press it. And then that little bit of oil that's still remaining comes out. So what I do is I just go back and forth now. I normally don't have batches this big. This is the largest batch that I've ever made. I have never done a batch this large. And so it takes quite a bit of time. I'm going to put a little less in there this time to see if it'll squeeze a little easier. Yeah. So trying to fill it up, you get a little less oil, but if you do smaller portions, it seems to squeeze out a lot easier. So then what you do after you've squeezed it, you open it back up. And then you put your herbs back into the pot because you can reuse them. Let's see. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting it, can you guys see? Here, you can see. Just putting it right inside there and then squeeze again. Not too much came out of that one. But now look, we still have a ton. We're going to give it a second strain before we prepare it with the remainder of the ingredients. So what I was mentioning is we're going to have this in 4 varieties. One of them is the unscented. The other one is going to be the warm vanilla sugar, actually vanilla and sandalwood to match the soap, and the body wash. The other one is a floral fragrance for women. And of course, the last one will be a peppermint because peppermint seems to be the #1 request for us here. Now, if you guys are commenting, there is a little bit of an issue where I'm not able to see your comments, but I promise to reply back if you are watching on, I guess, Facebook or Twitter. If you're on either of those platforms, I will be able to come back and see what you have said, and then I'll respond there, because I can see that it says we have 62 people who are live, but it's saying that there's an issue with displaying your comments. So I'm not ignoring you intentionally, but I can't see what it is that you're saying. But this is how I am spending my morning, because we are almost done with, no, we're not. We're pretty close to being done with the restock for Natural Soap by Zakia. We have done the bar soap, we've done the whipped soap, the lotion, the body wash. Now we're doing the oils. And I think there's about 3 more items that have to be completed before I can say, you know what? I'm done for now. And then also updating the website is just extremely time consuming. But this can be pretty interesting when you are like trying to figure out how you want everything to go or how to be. This is kind of what we do. All right, so I'm getting that out. And there's probably more oil down there. But I do have to get it all so that I'm prepared for the second strain when we do that, instead of having to come back and do it a second time. And the cheesecloths, guys, are washable. So if you are trying to figure out how you're going to press your herbs out, get yourself a cheesecloth. There she goes. And then this as well helps, because I am not sitting there wringing it for days. First of all, my arm strength isn't that good. I don't have that much arm strength to be able to get all of the oils out. So this potato peeler is a good alternative too. And we'll go and do this one too. And back and forth, back and forth. Let's see. Come on over here. Nothing there. That's the one thing. Some of them don't give you anything out of it, which is pretty annoying. Looks like that has a good chunk there. So this would be considered my first press of these. It typically goes through the cheesecloth, then it goes through, I call it an herb crusher, but it's really a potato thing. Potato thingy, that's the official title for it. And then we do a strain of it as well, because as you can see, we still have some herbs in there. And then we press that one. So it's pretty repetitive. Normally, if I'm not live streaming, I would have my music going. I would be on here singing, moving, and grooving. But you know, that whole copyright thing. They have this thing about ownership in music on streams. Although, I always complain about the fact that I have seen so many people live streaming with their music on and nothing happens. The music's just going, but just because they let other people do it doesn't mean they're going to let me do it. And let's go with this pick here. And we're going to press that. I sent a picture of the herbs in the crock pot, and someone was like, yuck, and another person was like, delicious. So, not knowing how people are going to respond to it is always interesting. But seeing that the responses were so varied when I showed them, oh, this is how I make it, and they were like, ooh. So 2 different kind of reactions to the same exact picture. But one of them was a handcrafted artisan, so they kind of got it. Alrighty, guys, we're down to the last of it here. Now, there is still some oil in the pot, but I'm not going to grab that. I'm only going to use this, what we have pressed here. And then we should be able to get 40 bottles bottled up today. There she goes. Now, just for good measure, what I am going to do is see if now I can squeeze. Might be a little easier to squeeze now. Look at all that. Look what comes out. Don't go splashing. Ring, 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 ring. One more, or maybe a few more. All right. So first and second press are done. We're going to get rid of these gloves, get a new pair, because I don't want it slipping and sliding all over the place. And now I'm going to grab a scale, or my scale. We can get rid of this. Put her in the background there. I don't know where my paper towels are, so just gonna put that right there like that. Move her over. And here is where we do the second press of it. Good afternoon. No, is it afternoon? No, it's still morning. So if you are just joining and wondering what the heck do we have going on in these bowls, let me give you a quick catch up. Because a couple of you have just joined. Wrong one. We want to go that way. All right, so I'm Zakia. What we are doing is we are pressing out the herbal body oil. This was infused for about 3.5 to 4 hours yesterday. So now what we're doing is we are straining it out because we want to separate the herb material from the actual oil. With the infusion, what we were able to do is get the medicinal properties or the benefits of the herbs infused into the oils. And that's what you can use after getting out of the shower, out of the tub. When we'll be ready. This will actually be ready today, Carla. It doesn't take, it's not like the soap process in terms of the curing period. So as soon as they're bottled, they'll be ready. When can you order them is another question because I'm still waiting for the waterproof labels. We don't want to put our regular labels on these bottles in particular because it's oil-based. And if your body oil leaks on it, then you won't be able to read the label in about a week. Okay. All right, then. All right. But thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this is interesting or kind of sort of a little bit interesting. And I also needed somebody here in the workspace with me because it was kind of boring and quiet around here aside from the music. All right, so now what we're going to do is get on our second pair of gloves and we're going to strain it out again. Now, I normally would use a bowl and push it through, but then what I'm going to do, inbox, I absolutely will. Thank you so much. I'll actually use a ladle to strain it out. So you want to get yourself a strainer. The interesting thing about strainers in particular is that the smaller the strainer, the more that it's going to, like the sieve, I guess you would call it, the more or the fewer particles will get through. The one thing that will absolutely get through are the calendula. They're little teeny tiny petals. They're so small, I don't have a sieve small enough to prevent those. But I'm going to use this one here, And for this first go around, we're going to measure out 40 ounces. So I'm going to take this, and just like this, I just hold it over. And then that way, any plant material will not go into the final oil, aside from those calendula little petals. But you get some plant-based essence in your body oil. And this is where you guys need the overhead cam, but I already have both hands full here. So we're going to have to wait on it. When they say, wait on the Lord, shall renew their strength. Okay. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining, Tammy. Good to see. Is it afternoon already? I feel like it's morning. What time is it? Well, we got about 45 minutes. Oh, it depends on where you're watching from. But wherever you are watching from, number one, thank you for tuning in. Do be sure to, what did they say? Like, share, subscribe, and follow. Follow, all that fun stuff. So what I do is I just continue to take the ladle. Probably should have did it with the other hand, but I am right-handed, so using this ladle is a little bit easier. When we get to the next batch of them, oh, and there we are. We got up to 40. Now, how are we going to actually bottle this? Remember, I said the first batch is going to be completely unscented. So where it's just the essence of the herbs. I am going to put a calendula flower in there just because I think it's pretty. And it also helps to decorate the bottle. So we want to unbottle these. Now I am not going to attempt to pour those. I'm not going to attempt to pour the oil into the bottle because then we'll just have oil all over the bottle. If you saw the video where I was what was I doing? I was doing the foaming whip soap. I have a Lotion Filler machine that allows me to fill them pretty easily. So these bottles are pretty cool. It has a dropper in there. You can also pour it in your hand, but this just gives you the right amount. The bottle is glass, so it does come kind of wrapped pretty well to make sure that UPS, Post Office, FedEx, whoever gets your package in their hand isn't completely disrespectful with it. So we're going to do 10 of these. And just like when we're making soap, you want to have everything that you're going to need ready so that you don't have to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I'm going to take this here. What do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8. Who do we appreciate? Just put them down. Like so. 2, 4, 6, 8. One more. We need one more, Bradley. All right. Now, let's go and get the Lotion Filler machine. I have cleaned it. So it's wrapped together. One thing in terms of sterilizing the machines, it's a great idea to spray it down with rubbing alcohol even after you have cleaned it. So I use a combination of bleach water, then I rinse it out with some really hot water, and then what I do is I will spray it with alcohol so that it's ready for the next time. Now, the good news is I am not going to need to spray it between uses, which is always fantastical. Always fantastical. But this is a pretty great invention in terms of, so it has this top piece on it that goes on like that, and then you screw it. A lot of you were saying, what is that called? It's just a lotion filler. And it also has a lid. Like that. Now, we don't necessarily need the lid on there just yet. We don't need the lid on because we have not poured the product in. But I'm trying to make sure that when I go, I'm not going to be in your way. You'll be able to see. Okay. So then what we'll do is we'll go here and pour. I guess you can hear it. You can't see it, but we're pouring it inside. I'm going to get a spatula to scrape it off. Okay. So that's now scrape. Now we're going to grab some calendula. And we're going to just put a few of the petals right into each bottle. Again, this is the unscented one. We didn't add anything else to it. You just need like just a little bit. I'm putting it in there first because if I don't, when I go to try and fill the bottle, I want them to kind of float inside. The other one, we're going to put some hibiscus in there, and you're going to see that hibiscus gives it a nice red hue to the oil. That's going to be the one that's scented in a floral. Just all that. So are you guys at work? Are you home? Well, that's an interesting question nowadays. When you say, are you at work? Many people are still working from home. So you may be at work, but you're not at work. Or even when you were at work, you weren't necessarily at work. But are you watching from work, or are you working from home? Or are you watching from home? Any of those things. We got those. I feel like I'm putting more in some and not the others. I do try to avoid putting the entire flower in there. And these are dried herbs. We don't want fresh herbs. I'm getting ready for work, dog. Thank you for keeping me company, lady. You don't want to put fresh plant material in your herbal body oils. And the reason for that is they do have water content in them. And anything that is water or has water in it has the potential to get fungus and all that other stuff, microbes and all of that. Thank you. So it has the potential for that. So you want to make sure that you do use dried herbs because all of the water has been dried out of them. And that's also a reason, like when we formulate it, so we don't need preservatives in here because there's no water-based ingredients. And this will last for up to 16 months. Let's see. We're almost there. I know you're like, we didn't sign in to watch you put flowers. Good morning, Pocket Town. How are you? You're on the YouTube side. Hello, my dear. We are doing an herbal body oil. I did a Facebook story. I might have posted some of it on Instagram. And people were saying, well, how in the heck are you going to get that into that? So we're kind of going through the process of getting all of the oil and the herbs sifted. And now we are about to bottle it using this lotion filler machine. I absolutely love my lotion filling machine. I'm doing good. I do love this because before this, I would put things in plastic bags and whatnot, and it just wasn't what I was after. But with this, you'll be able to see, you just pulled it. Oh, let me put the lid on. Just in case I pull a little too heavy and the thing wants to topple over. So I want you to be able to see it, but we're not going to be all fancy this whole time, guys. I got to get this stuff done. And now when we go to press through, you'll see Bam. Just like that. And then we just keep going straight on through. My hands are covering it again. See, isn't that pretty? So you have your calendula in there, and then this isn't just an oil, but it's infused with the calendula, the chamomile, the aloe vera leaf, as well as the lavender. Oh yeah, I has to, I has to have some of that one. Give me some of that one, Carol Ann, for $500, Alex. But yeah, I love this, and especially right after the shower. A lot of people say, which ones do you use for, like, if your skin is dry? The great thing about this is it doesn't matter if you have dry skin or oily skin. Using this after the shower or the bath ensures that it's locking that moisture in. Definitely use it on damp skin. But look at that. You see how the calendula is just kind of floating in there? I think that's really pretty. Now watch the stark difference when we add hibiscus into it. Hibiscus looks incredible inside of here, and it's a natural color. So we'll just keep on. Oh man. Now, I want you to notice the difference between that first one. I always hang on to the first one. The first one, it's always interesting, but I see somebody just commented. Hold on one second. Let me just get these done because we'll be here all day. Carla has to get to work. Should have just put them like that so I can get to them. Yeah, I don't use store-bought lotions. I use all oils. Yeah, oils are fantastic on the skin. Lotions are good. It's just dependent on what's in them. A lot of times, the lotion has the water added to it. And that's why it has the consistency that it does. But the oils are great for locking moisture in. They're great for actually penetrating the skin as well, whereas lotion sits on top of your skin. Now that should be the last one if I calculate it correctly, or if my scale is working right. Yep. I got more. Give me some more. Good morning, Angel. Yes, they are. It makes your skin glow. A healthy glow, too. And you're feeding your skin with it at the same time. Now, let me grab my little... I have a oil bucket as my step stool so I can look at the top and see what in the world. That should have been enough for 10. Oh, there's no more in... Look at this. It's going to give me like a little squirt out of it. Look, watch what happens. When you're at the end, don't do this. It's just pushing air out. All right, so now we're going to do, well, first what we're going to do is put a lid on it. Without a lid, I am prone to making it spill. Make it spill. Like, no, you don't want to do that. But now what we're going to do is the hibiscus one. That one is going to be unscented as well, but then we need those waterproof labels. We gotta get the waterproof labels or else it'll be pretty the first time you use it, and the second you got some body oil that drips down the side, it's gonna go. Not going to work out so well. All right, so we're going to put the lid on these, and then we will measure out or sift out another 40 ounces to do the hibiscus one. The other ones we are going to add the scent to. So we're going to add a peppermint scent, and we're also going to add a floral scent. Smells like, I don't know if you've ever had the Daisy by Marc Jacob perfume. Smells like that. And nice size. Yeah, these are the 4-ounce sizes. I only do the body oils in the 4-ounce. Some people have asked for 2 ounces, which is a lot smaller, but I could see why you want those for traveling. So not too bad. Maybe. If I can get containers, it's very difficult to get containers for this stuff now. I don't know. Well, I do know why, but it also feels like some of the suppliers are working extremely hard to capitalize on the pandemic. So they are the first ones. Now we're going to do hibiscus in them. So you'll be able to see it's still the same exact body oil, but it's just prettier, or it's, if you're a yellow or a red fan, it's good to look at. It's soothing on the eyes. I'm going to move that here and put the hibiscus here. Now, hibiscus, you do have to kind of break it just a bit to get her in there. Give me a little more. So you see that one, right? Yeah, there's nothing in there. You missed a step. My bad, guys. I forgot. We have to measure out the next batch. My bad. I forgot. All right, so let's get this on. Don't you do that. You know, sometimes you feel like you need to be an octopus. I need 16 more hands. I'm going to move this over just so I don't have it dripping from one place to the next. Okay, I'm going to finish getting ready for work. Don't forget me, LOL. Have a great day creating. I can't wait to thank you so much. All right, and have a good day at work. So, this is probably not the best way to not have so much waste. Yeah, I want to put this down here. Guys, we're about to have a mess. Move them up. Move them up. Move them out. Alrighty. We're going to put this down. Because otherwise I'm just going to have oil going from one spot to the next. And that'll be a whole bottle that's just living on the table. Alright, much better. Much less distance to travel. Still got... Still spilt it. Now, after this ladling, I'll be able to pick the bowl up a lot easier. Right now, it's too heavy to do that. Stop dripping. I wish you guys could see how much oil is hitting this table. Again, this one will be unscented. It'll just have the hibiscus in there. And I went a bit over, but that's okay. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and pour that in. Grab our spatula. All right, let's get the first one done so you can see the difference. And then I'll unbottle the other ones. So we'll set this here. Lid. Now, once the hibiscus sits in there, it's going to change to a deep red or a light red amber color. And that's just from the color of the hibiscus. Now, repeat in terms of taking the lids off, getting them prepared with the hibiscus. And this is how like the day in product making works. It's a better idea to get it all done so that you're doing one thing or similar things together. And remember that last one that we had? 2, 4, 6, 8, 2 more. Since I went a bit over on the measurement, I'm going to fill that one. All right, then we grab our hibiscus. Break them up in there. I don't know where you guys are watching from. Unfortunately, your comments sometimes show, sometimes they don't, but I see we have a few of you watching, so welcome. If you are new to me, my name is Zakia Ringgold, and we are doing some herbal body oil. This was a process that started yesterday. Not that it took a full 24 hours, but I infused the herbs for the body oil in a roaster oven yesterday. I typically will let them infused for 3 to 4 hours, and then I'll let it sit overnight. It's kind of like my resting period for it anyway. After it does that, then what we had to do was pour it into this large bowl here so that we could strain off the herbs from the oils. And now what we're doing is we're bottling it up. We are bottling it using the Lotion Filler here. And then we're also adding a few of the dried herbs into the bottom just to give the oil a little bit of character as you're looking at it. Also some of the properties in there. So that's what we're doing. You guys are keeping me company. I am a full-time business owner these days. Running Natural Soap by Zakia, Live Soap School, as well as Virtual Experience Design Agency, all from home. Over the pandemic, I was doing a lot with virtual conferences, and then still doing a lot with virtual conferences, but my passion is handcrafted products, primarily soap making. So I decided that since I wasn't going back to work full time, I was going to turn my a space in my backyard to a studio. It would be a production studio for the virtual events, as well as a place to teach people in the community how to make natural skincare products, and then also continue live streaming. If you are new, I live streamed from 2015 through the start of the pandemic in 2020 from my dining room. And business kind of started taking over the living room and the kitchen. And so I had an opportunity to have this garage built, and it's a 2-story garage. So down here on the first floor, I have storage for my soap, all of the supplies that used to be in the dining room and in the basement are all in this one space. And then upstairs is more of my office area. And then my fake gym. I call it a fake gym because there is an exercise bike up there that I rarely use. Paige gets on it every day. She says, Mom, you need to get on here. All right, what are you trying to tell me, kid? What are you trying to say? Specifically, what are you trying to tell me? And so I do enjoy having this space. And what I said on another broadcast is I do miss the office just for being around other people. It was interesting how everything kind of came about. And you know how you have one picture in mind? It surpassed what I was expecting in terms of having this space. But things happened slow, but then really, really fast in terms of the building going up. And so now I get a chance to walk about 5 steps out of my back door and go into the office every single day. And then I can still like walk a few blocks to get to the post. Who we kidding? I'm not walking. I'm typically not doing that. Mignon, Elion, I may have pronounced your name wrong. Welcome to the broadcast. It looks like it let your comment come through, but good morning. It's almost afternoon here, almost lunchtime. So now what we're doing is the body oils. And these body oils, the 2 that we're doing right now are unscented, and then there's going to be 2 that are scented. And as you can see, I'm putting these herbs in before I put the oil in, just to make sure they go in. You said it. I did. Mignon Elion. I love that name. All right, let's see. So what we're doing is just kind of getting them in. What I do is I try to cover the bottom of the jar. We do want them suspended in the oil, but sometimes you'll see if you're using a heavier herb, it may sit at the bottom, but these will float. So then what we do is after we have put them into the bottles with the herbs, we come around and then we press out the oils that we poured in a moment ago. See, now look at the difference between this one has the calendula, and the calendula kind of floats. The hibiscus, on the other hand, kind of looks like a bouquet at the bottom of the body oil. I think we could have did a little less. I feel like I could do a little bit less. Shake it out like salt and pepper. And I learned a long time ago, do not fill it to the brim. When you fill it to the brim, when you go to put the cap on, it overflows. So go right to where that first circle is when you're filling any container from anywhere. That gives you the headspace that you need for putting the lid on it. The one annoying thing is whether or not I'm going to make it all. I don't know where you all are watching, but hello. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I know it's the middle of the workday, or you might work night shift, or it might be morning where you are, so it may not be work time. But I appreciate you being here. What we're doing is just going over how I'm doing these body oils. I got a lot of questions in my stories on like what was in there, how was I going to get it out. And so I figured it would be a great opportunity to kind of show you the process that I go through in terms of straining it out, bottling it up, and then also adding the dried herbs to it. Oh, I think I got the number of pumps down. 3 full pumps should get her done. Get her done. And then when this broadcast is over, we're going to finish up the last of, see what I'm saying? Last of the body wash. I got it. 2 complete pumps. Watch. Look at there. Like you fill up 20 to figure out. It don't take that much, ma'am. Oh, look at that. That one wasn't a complete one. All right, now remember the one that we started to fill previously? I'm just going to fill that one now. Or finish. Because I see, that's how you know you're at the end. It starts to do that air. This is a great one. All right, guys. I hope that helps to answer your questions from my stories, or if you've never seen how we go about doing the body oils. It's a pretty straightforward process, but it all comes down to the ingredients that we use for the oils when we're infusing them, as well as the herbs that we select for the skincare. Whenever you're using a body oil, it's a great idea to just give it a little bit of a shake. These are made with some really incredible oils that like to not only penetrate your skin, but nourish it at the same time. And then we've added the dried herbs in there primarily for visual appeal, but you still get the benefits of all of the herbs that were infused last night. So hopefully this helps you all to see what the process is like for kind of making products as your day job. Kind of goes day and night. It doesn't just end because the day is over. Typically while I have dinner going, I'll have something in the crock pot here, or Nyla will be measuring out the ingredients for something that we're going to be making the next day. And then there's also the whole website. Blah, blah, blah. Nobody feels like doing that, but it's kind of required. And so we got a few more. And then I have 2 more, maybe 3 more batches. I might have over measured. I have about 3 more batches that we have to do. That is the vanilla and sandalwood, the floral one, and then there's 1 more specifically for the fellas. And we will be good to go. Again, these do come in the 4-ounce size. So they last for a pretty long time. So the 2 unscented have both the calendula in them as well as the hibiscus. And I'll bring it up a little closer. Come a little closer, Caroline. So you can see that is what they look like. Can you see? I can't tell. That's what they look like when they are bottled. The last thing is to put a label on them, and then they come in a box because we do ship wherever you are ordering from. So for all of you that asked the question on my Facebook stories, what in the world are you making? How in the world are you going to get it out? Number one, I had no idea how I was going to get it out. I just knew the amount that I needed to make, and so that's what I did. And then I kind of figured out the rest of it along the way. The most important thing is to make sure that, number one, when you are sifting out your herbal body oil, you're wearing gloves, because your hands can't help but to touch it depending on how you're sifting it out or how big of a batch you have. Cheesecloth is a great way to keep the herbs separated from the oils, and then you have to wring it out. You want to try and press it through a second time just so you can get some of those additional oils that are in there. You don't necessarily need a lotion filler. You don't need all the fancy tools. If you just have a steady hand and a funnel, that's another way that you can pour your body oils from a container into the jars or the glass bottles that you will be using. But I'm Zakia. It was great to see you all live. I hope to see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. for another DIY. And I have some products to make, so I will catch you all soon so I can turn my music on, dance a little bit, and all that fun stuff. But thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye, everybody.